I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This is my first time doing comedy. With that being said, I have a lot of very important people in my life here tonight, both friends and family. So I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible. I know New Year's Day just passed, so I'm going to tell you guys about what was arguably the worst New Year's Day of my life. So 10 years ago, 22-year-old me had spent New Year's Eve night drinking everything in sight and consuming all the New Year's Eve party favors offered to you. So I wake up the next morning, needless to say, feeling like I got hit by a fucking truck. Then I also realized it's payday at my job. So now, on top of feeling like shit, not payday like direct deposit payday today, payday like when you used to have to go pick up your check from your job. So I called 10 or 15 of my buddies, and one of them finally agrees to come get me. This is great, until this asshole pulls up on a single-seater crotch rocket in front of my house. My stomach is in complete shambles. The last thing I want to do is ride across Sarasota on this fucking motorcycle. But he gives me his motorcycle, so I'm like, fuck it. Or his helmet, so I'm like, fuck it. I strap it on, get on the bike, and we cruise across Sarasota. After a motorcycle ride from hell, I mean, this dude was doing 90 all the way down Beneva to Sarasota Square Mall. My stomach was in complete shambles. So we pull into the mall parking lot, and where we have to go to park, we have to go over a couple speed bumps. Now, speed bumps fucking suck on a regular day, right? Nobody likes speed bumps. But when you've been partying the night before and drinking and doing a bunch of drugs and have no food in your stomach, speed bumps really fucking suck. So he hits the first one, and that's when I knew something just wasn't right. But that second speed bump was a whole different animal. We went over that second speed bump, and that's when it happened. I sharted my pants. So now I got a couple real dilemmas on my hands. I used to be a huge brand whore, so I had like $400 True Religion jeans on. And if my buddy finds out that I just shit my pants, I'm definitely not getting the ride home. So we pull into the parking spot, and I hop off the fucking bike and do my best penguin run waddle into the mall. Shit running down my legs. It was terrible. The worst part is I make it into the bathroom and I get myself all cleaned up, and I'm so embarrassed that I just go back out to the bike and tell them, hey, the checks weren't there. You gotta take me home. So yeah, that was an awkward story, but not as worse as this next one I'm gonna tell you guys. So about that same time, 22-year-old me had the day off, so I figured what would any 22-year-old do with a day off? I'm going to go get some Coke and take it to the beach with me. So I hit my buddy up, and I get there, and of course, he's sold out of Coke. However, there's this huge, sketchy Mexican guy sitting on the couch with tattoos all over his face and a fucking Ziploc bag that looks like glass chunks in front of him. And he turns around and looks at me, and he's like, hey, Wedo, you ever tried this shit, Holmes? Now, I'm going to give you a short disclaimer. If a big giant dude with tattoos all over his head and face that you don't know offers you drugs, don't fucking take them. Right? So I sit down next to this asshole on the couch, and he tells me what I need to do. So I take a couple hits off of this weird ass glass bubble pipe, and I stand up, and he's like, what do you think, eh? And I'm like, yeah, it's all right, you know, but I gotta go catch the bus. I'll see you guys later. So I'm walking out of the front door of the house, and I know I got like six blocks to go to the bus stop. But what I couldn't fucking realize was how the hell was I already there? Like, my whole world was going 100 miles per hour. Okay, so yeah, now I'm on a new mission, because not only was I fucking whacked out of my mind, but I was horny as can be. So yeah, it was like the horniest I've ever been in my life. So I get off the bus, and I fucking hop off at a restaurant I used to work at, and I go inside and harass every waitress I've ever known there. Until one of my old managers comes out and he's like, dude, you gotta fucking go. Like, you're way too fucked up. You gotta get out of here. So, yeah, no harm, no foul. You know, keep in mind, this is the horniest I've ever been. So I'm not gonna be deterred by one manager telling me to go home. So I go across the street to another restaurant I used to work at. And you can guess what happens after a couple minutes of being in there and fucking trying to dry hump the hostess. The same thing happens. They asked me to leave their fine establishment. So now I'm kind of pissed because, you know, I'm striking out. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I do what any horny 22-year-old kid would do. And I go home to grandma's house and jack off in the bathroom for the next 5 hours. But it gets worse. Because grandma came and checked on me like 3 or 4 times and was beating on the door like, are you okay? And I'm like, I swear, grandma, I'm good. My stomach's killing me. Hey, thank you guys for your time.